Right, hi, how are you? It's been a little bit. Last video we did was Are the Japanese the Philistines? Okay. And a viewer brought scripture and he says that they're not the Philistines. We can say whatever we want, but when you can find it in the holy books, the argument's over. So he showed me in Zephaniah, the destruction of them that say they are Jews or not, and shows that the Philistines will be destroyed on the land of the Philistines that is in what we're told is the Levant, which we're told is Israel. So he makes a very valid point. I forgot the viewer's name because I removed the comments off my page that I'm viewing. I didn't remove the comments, I just moved it off of what I'm viewing right now. He also continued to say the ark is not where I believe it is, which is great. And he backs that up with scripture. He takes me to 2 Maccabees. Now, I've showed in some of the very beginning broadcasts, analyzation of the book of Maccabees, you find a lot of information. You find the actual actions of Jeremiah, who's called Jeremy. This person leads me to 2 Maccabees. He says, look in verses 5 through 7, it says, when Jeremy came thither, when he came close, he found a hollow cave. Now, what did we learn from that Japanese video? We learned about the caves being hollow in the inside. The mountains being hollow in the inside, and that entrances are built. And when an entrance is built to a cave, not when a cave has a natural entrance, when an entrance is built to a cave outside of the natural entrance, that is called an altar. Lo and behold, it is not an altar of sacrifice, but yet it is an altar. Now, it says, when Jeremy came thither, he found a hollow cave, wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark, and this is what the viewer wanted me to see, and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door. And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it. Which Jeremy perceived, he blamed them, saying, as for that place, it shall be unknown until that the time that God gather his people again. Now when we go to the book of Jeremiah, when we go to the book of Ezekiel, when we go to the book of Isaiah, this is the gathering of the children, what we've been talking about for years. The Exodus, or the second Exodus. Now, it continues to say, he blamed them, saying, as for this place, it shall be unknown until the time that God gathers people again together and receive them unto mercy. Many times you are told, the Lord thy God, the Creator, O Jacob, is thy only Savior. He created you and he can save. Your mom and dad say shit to you like, I brought you into this world, I can fucking take you out. Our Lord, our Master, we are nothing but servants. We can call him Father all we want, but we can't call him Father and call on other gods. We can't call him Father but not know his name. We can't call him Father but not know how to worship him. Everything's written out. I was on a long drive. I listened to 2 different broadcasts where God obviously wants me to understand the ark and the tabernacle, because this is exactly what Christians are going over this week in New York. 2 different churches broadcast on my road trip the measurements and every measure of anything that goes in the tabernacle. Then I heard another wonderful broadcast about Nehemiah kicking Tobias's ass. But you'd have to read the book of Nehemiah to understand that. And these broadcasts were wonderful because the Catholic's Jesus wasn't brought up and the Christian Christ wasn't mentioned. So we're going to go further. One of the comments that somebody had made had to do with the Catholics, the Spanish, and the KKK all wearing the same image, the same witch's gown. Okay? Now this person didn't know I did this before. You can see I wrote on this, Inquisition of the New World. This is all you have to do is type in Inquisition of the New World. Okay? If you call yourself worshiper of God and you go out and try to reenact what Alicia did, that zeal will look like an inquisition. This is why they have to inquisition you and then you defend yourself. So, Inquisition of the Americas is accept my God or die. And that is what happened to our forefathers. This is brought about by the Catholic Church through their decree. If you've read the book of Daniel, you understand Nebuchadnezzar brings forth a decree. Worship my image or die. Same difference, right? Worship Christ or die. Nebuchadnezzar says, worship my image or die. This is done to us by the Catholic Church. My name is Alexander Williams, Alexander Diego Williams. I hereby vow that I understand my enemy. I understand he who enslaved me and my people. They call themselves Catholics. They believe that they have the right to rewrite universal law. Hence, they are now pushing Sunday Sabbath instead of Saturday Sabbath, which urges me to be opposite of them and ignore the moon until I can study Enoch further and return to seventh day. For Sunday is the first day, Monday is the second, Friday is the sixth day, and Saturday is the seventh. Now, I know I've been trying to teach you to move to the moon. We strike against our enemy, for our enemy has struck us over and over and over again. Over and over and over again, our enemy has struck us. So, Spanish wear this in their Christian festivals. Scottish Rite Freemasons wear this. KKK. You do know that the KKK is the Scottish Rite, right? The York Rite of Freemasonry. Rome is Italy. Italian is mafia. We are ruled by a mafietic organization. The KKK hood deals with human public sacrifices, which is Druid. Again, syncretism. Cretinism is taking from one religion and combining it with yours. Pagan Druid. Syncretism is taking from many to combine with the original root. What is the original root? It's fucking Odin. Nordic. So, since it leads to Nordic, I have no idea why I put up the videos I put up, why I put up the pages I put up until I'm actually talking. So, when you look at this stuff, So that's what we're gonna do. Oh, and trust me, this leads back to the Japanese shit in some little degree. But we'll connect those pieces. And if I'm wrong, somebody will bring scripture and correct me. But if I'm right, then you go dig up historic records to back my point. That's all I've done for fucking years. And all you do is talk behind my back. Let me show you something. I know this is a little out of order, but I took a 2-week vacation because my wife is going to be moving in soon. And my carpet, it was time to go. So I redid my room and my flooring. And now I have black marble flooring. Looks wonderful. Cold to the touch, but looks wonderful. Alright. Here we typed in Zodiac Killer. And I'm going to show you why. Because when we deal with these fucktards, right? Now, we want to go KKK, and we want to remember the name Capirote, something like that. And you can see the Capirote's right here. This wonderful image. Let's get it real big. Like they're knocking at your fucking door, right? See the Roman X on their chest? Or do you have to see it like that to only understand it's the Roman X? The X sound makes a hiss. Alexander. It's a hiss. Now I'm going to show you. See the X on their chest? Now, we go to the Ku Klux Klan and scroll down. And we're looking for the Caprite, whatever, however you fucking say it. Now here, look at this. Now, you see all the Roman crosses on them? Here, I'll bring up a picture of the Pope real quick. It doesn't matter what I bring it up on, you're always going to see the X's on them. Oh, that's right, Francis doesn't wear the X lately. Alright, I'm going to have to go to images anyway. Boom, 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 boom. Well, first he's got the big pagan X right down the center. And we don't have to go too far to know that, you know, clothes for one pope are the same clothes for another pope. So you can see this motherfucker marked up with the X everywhere. So it doesn't matter. It's always there. Now I'm gonna close this window. We don't need to see the Pope no more. Alright, now X, right? X, right? See the X right there? See, okay, click on the picture. Let's get bigger. See, that's not bigger, you piece of shit. There's an X there. This guy's got military stripes on him. Right? See? Now watch this. I'm gonna type Zodiac Killer, right? What did Zodiac Killer dress up as? Oh, wow. Pretty much the same thing. So look at the Zodiac Killer and look at these guys dressed, right? Look at, go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and future. All right. Okay, so I want to show you something because this is the Zodiac Killer and he's a serial killer. So I'm going to move this one up right now. Okay? Now I'm going to show you this. Now, let's kick ass. Come on, dude, make it louder.
Here are the facts. In June of 1983, officers arrested Henry Lee Lucas. Along with his partner Otis Toole, Lucas eventually confessed to over 300 murders. The story took a bizarre turn when the killers...
300 fucking murders. Hey, you guys, you've arrested me. You Freemasons that wear the badge have arrested me, and I will confess to you, I've killed 300 people. And then this is what he says afterwards. In a different interview.
Claim they were part of the Hand of Death, a nation...
They're part of the Hand of Death. A nation what?
Wide cult of Satan worship.
A nationwide cult of Satan worshippers. Now, why isn't this huge information in the age where Lucifer, the Antichrist, is supposed to walk the earth? I'll show you towards the end of the video.
They were part of the Hand of Death, a nationwide cult of Satan worshippers. They said high-ranking government officials and businessmen were also members of the cult, and they also said they would not be executed. Are these the ramblings of psychopaths?
What is a high-ranking member of government? What is a high-ranking businessman? These are the people that run corporations, are part of a serial killer group, and these are the people that set laws. And the people who go behind closed doors and release other thieves and murderers. This is what they do. You take a gun and point it at somebody and rob them for $30, you'll go to jail for at least 10 years. You get on the computer and steal millions out of the mouths of a few thousand people, you ain't going to jail. They're gonna say to you, how'd you do it? We want to know because we want to use it. Now listen to this shit again. Let me just start right over. Let's just listen to it. I'll be quiet for a little bit.
Here are the facts. In June of 1983, officers arrested Henry Lee Lucas. Along with his partner Otis Toole, Lucas eventually confessed to over 300 murders. The story took a bizarre turn when the killers claimed they were part of the Hand of Death, a nationwide cult of Satan worshippers. They said high-ranking government officials and businessmen were also members of the cult, and they also said they would not be executed. Are these the ramblings of psychopaths? Like most serial killers, Lucas and Toole were notorious exaggerators, but they weren't the only killers claiming membership in a cult. When David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, was captured...
Okay, here's my problem. Hey, I'm sorry, I couldn't shut my big fucking mouth. Okay. Why are these people considered notorious exaggerators? They're fucking murderers. You caught them actually murdering somebody, and then you're like, hey, we control the public, we control the press. Let's have the press call these two murderers exaggerators, so when they confess to killing over 300 people and working with an organization controlled by big business and huge members of political parties, now you see why they want you to think they're exaggerating? Two murderers say, hey, we're part of a national fucking murder spree called, what, the Hand of Satan? And satanic world leaders, businessmen and politicians control us. And by the way, you'll never execute us. This is what those men said. Now today, 2016, you know Agenda 21 is in effect. You know politicians made those laws. You know big business poisons their own materials to put inside your body. Now tell me these two fat fucks lied in 1983.
In June of 1983, officers arrested Henry Lee Lucas. Along with his partner Otis Toole, Lucas eventually confessed to over 300 murders. The story took a bizarre turn when the killers claimed they were part of the Hand of Death, a nationwide cult of Satan worshippers. They said high-ranking government officials and businessmen were also members of the cult, and they also said they would not be executed. Are these the ramblings of psychopaths? Like most serial killers, Lucas and Toole were notorious exaggerators, but they weren't the only killers claiming membership in a cult. When David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, was captured, he said he was part of a cult called the 4-Pi movement, which ordered the murders. He only admitted to 2 shootings. Although some investigators believed his story, the media and courts ignored his statements. In 1979, an unknown assailant attacked Berkowitz in prison and slit his throat. After surviving the attack, he stopped talking about the cult. Could there really be a cult of serial killers? Let's look at 4-Pi. The story of the 4-Pi conspiracy begins with a group called the Process Church of the Final Judgment, founded in England. At the height of the 60s counterculture movement, the church found a home in San Francisco. Church representatives allegedly met with the Manson family before and after the Tate murders. When authorities dismantled the Manson family, the church lost credibility. They couldn't shed their terrible public image and dwindled, eventually reorganized.
So whoa. The public image of this church is actually shattered. But they only allegedly met with the Manson family. So doesn't that make you realize that they actually did meet with the Manson family before and after the Manson murders, and that's what destroyed their public image? 'Cause what? Somebody spread a rumor that they were ordered. Serial killers don't fucking kill on their own. Serial killers don't kill on their own.
Church representatives allegedly met with the Manson family before and after the Tate murders. When authorities dismantled the Manson family, the church lost credibility. They couldn't shed their terrible public image and dwindled, eventually reorganizing as an animal charity. Some believe the 4-Pi movement rose from the ashes as a violent offshoot of the Process Church. But 4-Pi is an obscure rumor, an urban legend.
So some people believe, the people who study this people who write books about this, believe that this evil church broke into different factions, and one of those factions became what they call 4-Pi. You do know the symbol for pi, right? It's P-I, not P-I-E. This is the symbol for pi, right? Do you not recognize that symbol? Where are we at? Back at how stuff works.
Berkowitz and Manson refused to talk about the Process Church or 4-Pi. If this cult really does exist, then who's in charge? Why did they stop killing?
So these are serial killers that blab their mouth, but the one thing that they refused to talk about was 4-Pi and that church. Berkowitz got his throat cut, but he didn't die. Does anybody see that as a message to other members of the cult? It's easy for you to kill somebody in prison, but to cut their throat so that they bleed and understand if they talk further, they'll die. But the message is to all the serial killers in the group: if you talk like Berkowitz, we'll cut your ass up. They wanted to send a message. You know how the psychotic side of the public look at Berkowitz as some kind of hero. They called him the son of Sam. They made a special name for him. Son of Sam means Sam Hain. Sam Hain is Halloween, when the devils come out. Hence, they called him the son of the devil. They could not destroy their trophy, but a trophy can easily fall off a shelf and get scarred. So they slit his throat, but kept him alive to warn the other potential trophies. Because if you got a trophy case, very few people only have one trophy in their trophy case. People that collect trophies consistently put themselves in those sports or efforts where trophies are awarded. Hence, serial killers are psychotics that want to be superstars for murder. Not singing or sports or acting, but for murder. They want to be superstars for snuffing people out. Hence, they even have a film genre, which I just mentioned, snuff. To extinguish a candle, to snuff, to smoke. Now, continue.
Talk about the processed church or 4-pi. If this cult really does exist, then who's in charge? Why did they stop killing? Here's where it gets crazy.
No, it just did get crazy. They call it a processed church. They did a study with hot dogs. They did beef, pork, and chicken. And they found out in beef hot dogs, in chicken and pork hot dogs, there's fucking human meat. Human meat processed with animal meat. How do these serial killers, how do these mafia dons get rid of their murder victims? Here, I'm going to show you. A vegetarian hot dog. Here, we'll just type in human meat, human DNA in vegetarian. Look, fucking beast already knows what I'm gonna fucking type in. I've been away for like what, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks? And everybody that I preached to, when I tried to type in the subject that I was gonna type in, the fucking beast helped me out every step of the way. There's a harlot on the beast. I'm gonna punch that bitch in the face. I'm gonna ride this beast right in the ocean. Every time you watch me, computer, I understand the personality that they're fucking giving you. Every time. And I'll be able to depict your chest moves. This is how they get rid of their victims. Your vegetarian hot dog may contain human DNA. So at the processing plant, where they cut up animals into little pieces so that you can eat, they throw their fucking victims. How can I prove it? The fucking community already proved it for me. Hot dogs, both vegetarian and meat-based, were found to contain a lot more than you're bargained for in the new report by Food Watch Group. Think you're making a healthy choice by picking a vegetarian hot dog? Check the brand you're buying. A new report found that 10% of the vegetarian hot dogs tested contained meat, including chicken and a vegetarian breakfast sausage and pork and a vegetarian dog. But that's not all. What? Clear Food, a company that genetically tests food products, looked at 345 hot dog samples from 75 brands, including meat-based and meat-free franks, and of those 345 hot dogs, 14% had some sort of issue, be it labeling inaccuracy or hygiene problem. Some of the dogs were labeled pork-free, important for certain religions, but were found to contain pork after all. Others were listed only one type of meat, but included several, or didn't contain all the ingredients listed. Even grosser, 2% of all samples were found to have, what? Traces of human DNA in them. Fuck you. Veggie hot dogs, vegetarian hot dogs were the worst off, accounting for 76% of the hygiene issue and two-thirds of human DNA. You said, I don't want to eat the life of another animal. So they said, fine, don't eat a fucking animal, eat a man. Do you understand what's going on? They have turned you into cannibals so soon you don't desire the garbage that they're feeding you. 1, because it's got no fucking nutrition. 2, because it doesn't have enough human meat in it. Something happens to you when you eat human meat, as they say in all these fucking movies. You get creepy. Watch the movies about cannibalism and listen to what they say about the actions of a cannibal. Dear God, watch the Book of Eli, which is supposed to be a biblical movie. What does Eli say about the cannibals? So, isn't it funny that that stuff goes to a meat processing plant, and these guys were called the what process church?
About the process church, or Berkowitz and Manson refused to talk about the process church or 4-Pi.
The process church. The process church. People in control of meat processing plants are stuffing humans in your fucking hot dogs. Probably in your other meats too. You gotta eat like 3 times a day. So that is something that's considered like big business, right? So it's easy to assume that somebody controlling a slaughterhouse is considered a major businessman. If they have reports showing you that there's human meat already in your food, then it is an equation solved. You get that? You got a number here, then you got an X for the the variable, and and then you got the answer already. So it's like a reverse math equation. You guys remember how these work, right? Okay. So if somebody runs the plant, that's the number you're given that's in the problem, then plus or minus X, and then you already have the answer. The answer is dead humans in food. Then the X must be the hiss. And what makes the hiss? The snake. And what is the snake? It's the serpent. Who is the serpent? It is Lucifer, of course. Satanists, which is just another word for Luciferians, are worshipping through human slaughter. See how this fucking got built? And we started with what? Excuse me. We started this with the KKK and what they used to do with us. There's excellent pictures on Google where you can see fucking burnt black people and pieces missing. And we go to the something we always go to. What is it called? Is it Roman something of religion? Persecution. See, this fucking beast is helping me, right? Persecution of. Here, I'll just click it because I spell like shit. Roman persecution of it's not of Christians, of religious, of religions or religious beliefs. It's something like that. Wikipedia, religious person. See, this is every time, it's because I always do it backwards. I always put Roman Empire and then persecution. But still, even backwards, I can fucking find it. But you guys won't. So you scroll down here. Look, you got Judaism, and this is how you know Christ is fake. In their own fucking words, the Israelites were like, "Fuck your Christ." Tiberius forbade Judaism, 10 Commandments, in Rome, and Claudius expelled them from the city. Get those Israelites out of the city before they wake up the people we've already tricked. However, the passage of Suetonius is ambiguous because the Jews at Rome caused such continuous disturbances at the instigation of Christ. Listen, the instigation of Christ means somebody instigated Christ onto them, and because of that, they caused disturbances. Do you understand that? If a missionary comes to your town and starts preaching a new God and you're not for it, and you start fights among them, that's the continuous disturbances. The instigation is missionary action. And who are they preaching for? For Christus, which is Christ. How many times do I have to put this on fucking screen to show you your own ancestors would not worship this fucking trash? Our ancestors would not worship this alien. So they were kicked out of the city where the rest of their families were enslaved. They were thrown out from their families. And this is how the Essene camp grew. This is how we have the Dead Sea Scrolls. Go get the Dead Sea Scrolls. Read the individual scrolls. Only Christian writers inject Christ. You must wake up. We're running out of time. And if you can't see how each of these subjects are fucking connected, get off my channel. Because the Jews at Rome caused continuous disturbances at the instigation of Christus. He, who is Claudius expelled them from the city. Christus has been identified as another form as Christus. The disturbances may have been related to the arrival of the first Christians. Aren't first fucking Christians called missionaries? Did I use the right word? I mean, that's amazing. So I brought this up because, again, every time I bring this up, I have to read that to show you our own ancestors won't worship Christ, but we're just dumb heathen today that won't even read the Bible. We won't even read the Testament of the Creator. Who gives a fuck about some guy that's the Creator is the judge? He says no one will stop his judgment. But then all of a sudden this Christ thing says, I'll prevent you from being judged. I'll argue for you. Dude, get the fuck out of here. The Creator already said it's between you and him. No man cometh between. But you guys are like, oh, Christ will be my mediator. That's because you've raped, you've murdered, you've stolen, and you don't want to account for your own fucking sins. But again, like I tried to tell you before, our Lord, our Creator, our Savior said He will forgive us. We must return. We must give up the myth, the Christian myth. So again, we're here because of serial killers. It is beyond calculation. All right, this is what Pliny the Elder. Okay, Pliny the Elder. This is the guy who got burned up for his actions in writing the New Testament. God choked him out with a volcano. Go read how Pliny the Elder died. Mount Vesuvius erupts. Who controls volcanoes, fool? Read the 10 Commandments. At the end of the 10 Commandments, the mountain shakes, the mountain rumbles, and smoke comes up. That's a volcano, dude. What happened to Pliny the Elder? He got choked out by a motherfucking volcano. I can't breathe. I'm so delirious, I'm gonna take a hot bath instead of getting the fuck out of here on the boat I came in on. Go read about Pliny the Elder. Then you'll understand the comments I just made. He writes before he died, "It's beyond calculation how great is the debt owed to the Romans who swept away the monstrous rites in which," this is under Druids, "in which to kill a man, hang him from a tree is owed and stuff, right, was the highest religious duty. And for him to be eaten, there should be a comma there, a passport to health." Do you understand that? Along with diviners and physicians, right? All of our doctors take an oath to Apollyon. Everybody knows Apollo's in fucking Revelation. Come on, wake up. A decree of the Senate, and Claudius forbid their rites completely in 54 AD. Druids were alleged to practice human sacrifice, a practice abhorrent to Romans. Alright, so they fucking burnt you and ate you.
If this cult really does exist, then who's in charge? Why did they stop killing? Here's where it gets crazy. Some believe the murders continue. After all, thousands of people disappear each year and no one knows how many serial killers remain.
Thousands of people disappear each year. Even grosser, 2% of all samples were found to have human trace. Look how 2% of all samples. They didn't misprint that. All samples. So somebody took piles of human bodies and they took a fucking scoop or a bucket, something of the sort, and look how fine they mixed this. In each of all samples, they only found 2%. He's writing it that way because they didn't find 7% in one, 28% in another. Each one had a small amount that equaled the same in the other. Do you understand that? They put 1 scoop of sugar in each basket. You understand that? They put whatever 2% equates to. 1 shovel full of human compound, human DNA, into each batch of... You gotta understand, if these are fucking different hot dog brands, these are different goddamn companies doing the same fucking thing in agreement to have the same percentage in each of their fucking hot dogs. Listen, I'm sorry that one sentence really leads to a bigger picture that nobody's gonna actually think out loud. That means say. Listen. That means somebody took a balance and scale, and in agreement with all these hot dog brands tested, in agreement, they have a contractual agreement to put this amount in each hot dog. That is satanic. That is a satanic pact. That is a coven. There's a coven of people that are in agreement to poison your food with dead men and women and babies. And this report comes out and nobody's willing to do anything? Nobody says, wait, there's human meat in fucking hot dog? We're not talking about some worker's finger getting cut off. We're talking about the same amount of human meat in every hot dog brand that was tested, especially vegetarian, where there should be absolutely no meat at all. Does anybody fucking understand the depth of that? That means when everybody thinks Santa Claus is going to come around and put like one little box in everybody's fucking stocking, what really happened was hot dog corporations, based on this report, got in agreement and they decided to put a percentage of human meat in each hot dog. So no matter what hot dog they tested, you understand what I'm saying? These motherfuckers are going to cut a piece of hot dog off and test it. They're not going to test every hot dog in the pack. That means each amount of hot dog they tested equated to 2% of human meat. That means they found a particle in the hot dog that was different than the rest. And it's a reoccurring particle. It's called DNA. And it's different than animal DNA. Millions of people end up missing. Do you know how much this planet fucks? You know how many babies are produced nightly? Get a couple beers, go to the hospital, go to the maternity ward and just look. Don't talk to anybody. You don't want to know you're drunk just staring at how many babies are being poured into your city alone. Millions of people come up missing every year. They just curb the numbers. Remember, these are the people that are in control. Of course they're in control of the numbers. How could they let an article like this get out? How could they let a test like this get out unless they want you to know? And it's funny, because we're watching stuff they don't want you to know.
But 4-pi is an obscure rumor, an urban legend. Berkowitz and Manson refuse to talk about the Process Church or 4-pi. If this cult really does exist, then who's in charge? Why did they stop killing? Here's where it gets crazy. Some believe the murders continue. After all, thousands of people disappear each year and no one knows how many serial killers remain free. Some killers swear.
The man in the beginning said, "We will not serve time." How would he know that unless the people that controlled where he got arrested, the municipality, unless the people that control that municipality were part of what? Them who gave he instructions. Their master. We're not going to be executed because our master runs this bitch. Think. You already got what? Here. It's easy. All you got to do is just remember shit. KKK in LA Sheriff's Department. Yeah, look. I just say it out loud, it fucking comes up. 2 police officers tied to KKK in Florida. I typed in LA, and you know that's on the other side, and they're telling you about Florida. KKK white supremacist running for sheriff. Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Here we go. That's the one I want. Oh, look. Idaho KKK member running for sheriff in, what, 2012? Here we go. Sheriff's Department. Here. LA County Sheriff's Department. Antelope equation monitors. Nope, that's not. I don't want to monitor antelopes. That's not the right one then, huh? Sheriff says KKK costume is stupid mistake. You know damn well that I won't look for this one any longer because this video's getting longer. You know the sheriff didn't make a stupid mistake. He just feels stupid because the whole town didn't feel the way he did. Alright, let me go back to this and let it run.
Then who's in charge? Why did they stop?
Oh, notice the 4-pi members, when they depict how the 4-pi members would look, what are they fucking wearing? Tell me I'm wrong. Go to that punk ass car and get that motherfucker talking again. Here. They're wearing these KKK hoods. Oh, that's Tyrone Street shit. That's what they're wearing. Capirite. Or how? Capirite. Capirot. However it's pronounced. You guys know I'm shitty with pronunciation. Shitty with everything. Whatever.
Killing. Here's where it gets crazy. Some believe the murders continue. After all, thousands of people disappear each year and no one knows how many serial killers remain free. Some killers swear they are part of a group. Berkowitz gave authorities information about 2 murders that occurred outside of New York even though he was not present. Lucas said he visited Jim Jones on behalf of the cult. During the 1980s, America fell victim to a hysteria.
Lucas said he visited Jim Jones on behalf of the... You know, Jim Jones, the white man that took all the black people home? And then, what? They all drank punch one day and was dead, right? So, don't you think that's funny? Lucas, a serial killer, visited Jim Jones, a man who disappears off the fucking planet after leading a bunch of black people out of America to be what? Later poisoned. These people were living fine and dandy, and everybody blamed the people who control the media. Got the media to teach you Jim Jones killed all these people. But the police, FBI, CIA already knew a serial killer that's part of a fucking serial killer cult visited Jim Jones.
New York, even though he was not present. Lucas said he visited Jim Jones on behalf of the cult. During the 1980s, America fell victim to a hysteria over alleged satanic cults running the government. Ultimately, these claims were discredited. Yet many conspiracy theorists...
You see that? We are in 2016 and we already know that those claims from the fucking 80s are right. It's true. It's true. We know this is the daughter of Babylon. So in the 80s, when people were getting indoctrinated, they turned and rebelled, but the media turned it into what?
America fell victim to a hysteria over alleged satanic cults running the government. Ultimately, these claims were discredited.
Who gets the power to discredit claims? Shall I go back to the beginning where this serial killer that visited Jim Jones, who says he killed over 300 people, when he was caught and said, I'm not gonna fry for this? Didn't he say people in control were part of this group? Who controls the power to discredit someone publicly? See, you've been taught the game is something else. This is the game, baby. If you've watched more than 10 videos, you are in the big leagues now. We play for souls. We are servants of the Creator. You are learning about your enemy. You're learning the secrets that your enemy has released to the public, and they're all combined in one format so you can see past the glamour. Oh yeah, this is glamorized. It's become taboo. When we talk taboo here.
In the 1980s, America fell victim to a hysteria over alleged satanic cults running the government. Ultimately, these claims were discredited. Yet many conspiracy theorists believe it's the other way around, that leaders of these shadowy cults are part of U.S. intelligence, meaning the government controls the cults. To support this claim, theorists draw connections between brainwashing projects like MKUltra and the use of criminal enterprise in Cuba and Central America. These agents allege...
Whoa! Didn't CIA go into Cuba and Central America? Are they not talking on the terms of the Men in Black and the CIA? Or are that group the same? You understand what's going on? When we look at the Tupac death, the reporter that studied Tupac's life and wrote the book discovers that the CIA and the FBI have one unique goal in America: to make sure no black leader rises. At the same time, we find out black people are Israelites. So combine the two and you find that the FBI and CIA want to make sure that no Israelite rises to wake the rest. They want to make sure the other one doesn't lead the rest out. And that's why we keep him hidden. But he's a bad motherfucker. He doesn't say much. And he is wisest that I know with the scripture. But it shall remain a mystery until it is time.
Use their influence to prevent any murders from coming to light until necessary, as a distraction from an unpopular war, for example. The main weakness in this conspiracy theory is that it relies heavily on the statements of people who are insane. Oddly enough, Henry Lee Lucas and Otis Toole were not executed. In Florida, Toole's sentence was commuted to life by Governor Jeb Bush.
Oh wow, that's a very influential politician that was what? Governor, in control of a whole state. Let me go back. That's at 303. We're at 303 right there. What does this fat fuck say?
Facts. In June of 1983, officers arrested Henry Lee Lucas. Along with his partner Otis Toole, Lucas eventually confessed to over 300 murders. The story took a bizarre turn when the killers claimed they were part of the Hand of Death, a nationwide cult of Satan worshippers. They said high-ranking government officials and business they were part of the Hand of Death, a nationwide cult of Satan worshippers. They said high-ranking government officials and businessmen were also members of the cult. Worshippers. They said high-ranking government officials and businessmen were also members of the cult, and they all Satan worshippers. They said high-ranking government, a nationwide cult of Satan worshippers. They said high-ranking government officials and.
So, do I need to open up George Bush saying, are you a member of Skull and Bones? Well, if I tell you, I have to kill you. It's so secret, I don't know. I can't tell you. It's so secretive, I can't deny it. Skull and Bones. Let me. Bush. Here, let's just see if that works. Bush interviews Skull and Bones. Interviewed Skull and Bones. Do. I just learned my computer is so fucking outdated that they will not have any more updates for this ever. That means if a new program comes out tomorrow, it does not work with my computer anymore. Yeah. This dead-ass computer is still alive. Oh, amazing. All praise the Creator.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society. It's so secret we can't talk about it. What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go on. I'm sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest. Number 322. First of all, he's not the nominee. And, look, I look for... Are you prepared to lose? No, I'm not going to lose.
I'm not going to lose. The fucking election's rigged. Did you see that? You've watched this dude fuck up every speech. Watch this. This is the most confident this guy's ever been. I'm not going to lose. I've paid my dues. Satan's my relative.
First of all, he's not the nominee. And, look, I look for... Are you prepared to lose? No, I'm not going to lose. You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us? Not much, because it's a secret. Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code? I wish there were something secret I could manifest. 322, secret number? There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job.
let's see, reason for Tim Russert's death. Let's just take a wild guess. I know I'm spelling that wrong. Somebody will fucking correct me. Correct me, beast. Oh boy. Oh, the beast isn't playing today, huh? Alright. I'll just do this. Tim. Pardon me. Do. Come on. You're not dead yet. Alright, it says Tim Rust. Alright, that's what we just watched. Here it is. S-S-E-R-T. Okay. S-S-E-R-T. Here, let's just go to this one. Okay, so those people that do some studying, they find out that when George Bush Sr. was at, I believe, Yale, whatever the 322 is linked to, I think it's Yale, he called himself Magog. Okay? So it says, this is for you, Tim. Now it says Gog and Magog, right? I'll drag you guys into it. Now, we have a bunch of different Europeans here. And it is, what do they call Israel in Gaza? They call it occupation. So we are occupied by Europeans. And the Bible says that one of the European factions that are occupying us is called Magog. Now,
you were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society. It's so secret we can't talk about it. What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists.
So there they put a well-known article for people that are history buffs. This is well known. This is an article, how Bush's grandfather helped Hitler's rise to power. Type that in on a search engine, look for the Guardian UK article, and you can read the whole article. When you read the article, it'll give you more information that you can backtrack into history yourself and find the same evidence that they're writing the article about. This is why MTV is the devil. They fucked you up. MTV led you to BET. And now most of our people waste their time with music and stupid comedy just to keep their brain occupied till they die. So that they never will know the truth about anything at all, except for stupid videos and stupid comedy.
The conspiracy theorists are going to go wild.
Sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest.
Number 322.
First of all, he's not the nominee, but
So remember the elections? It was Bush versus Kerry, and they're genealogically they're related. Okay, so every time anybody talks about history, they say the kings and queens, what? kept it in their blood. So now you have blood relatives vying for control of the Corporation of America.
And, look, I look forward... Are you prepared to lose? No, I'm not going to lose. You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret.
You know the word that stood out there that doesn't belong? Well, let's listen one more time.
Something secret I could manifest.
322? Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
Manifest. Does that really belong in that sentence? What is he really saying there? Do you understand what a manifestation is? Okay. Let's talk it. Readily perceived by the eye or the understanding. Evident, obvious, apparent, plain. The only word you don't fucking see there is obvious. Look, I'm not making this is the definition. To make, I wish there was something I could manifest. I wish there was something I could say to make clear. I wish I could say there's something to prove. To show you a record. It's an invoice or a list. Right? A record. Well, why do they use the word manifest with entities? Read closely. Perceive by the eye. Okay, so 322 is the worship of death, right? Or is it the worship of the king of death? The king of death would be the king of the underworld, which would be Hades. Remember, ladies. Ladies. I-E-S. Lades is just E-S. So the name Hades is just bullshit. There's no I-E-S. It's Hades. As it rhymes with shades. So the king Hades, and of course his son Apollyon. It is to perceive them, their king, by the eye. I wish I could have them manifest. The something would manifest. So this was a bump, and here we're back to this.
322, secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
And we'll be watching. Be safe on the campaign trail. John Kerry, thanks for joining us. And we'll be right back.
Oh, great. Isn't that interesting? We had Bush versus Cheney. My computer's getting weird. All right. So we had Bush versus Cheney, and Bush versus Kerry, and they were related, right? Then we had what? We had on screen. It showed Obama, Cheney, and Bush related. Okay, wait. So does that mean Kerry's related to Bush and Cheney and Obama? You do remember the 12-year-old girl, right? Oops. 12-year-old proves presidents related. I'm sorry, all presidents except for Van Buren related. So when Obama was running, right, Cheney threw his hat into the ring, right? So who's up for president right now? Come on. Who could trump up? Oh, wait. Trump is up. Right?
It's a great thing for history.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson.
And that's, see this? This is how we find out about John Lackland. Because this leads to John Lackland. And this is how we get the Constitution. John Lackland murders his cousin, who was around 8 or 12 years old, in between those ages, because his cousin was said to be king. And John was next in line, John Lackland, because his father had two other sons, and he gave them both land, and he ain't have no more land left to give. See, this is the importance that I told you to watch the videos, Kings and Queens of Europe. Yeah, because then you find out that they're all idiots. And
It's a great thing for history.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, William Howard Taft, and President Barack Obama. One young girl traced them all back to one common ancestor.
They're all cousins and all grandsons of John Lackland.
It's the first family tree of its kind, pouring through more than 500,000 names for months. 12-year-old Bridge Ann d'Avignon discovered that all the U.S. presidents, except Martin Van Buren, are related to the former King of England, John Lackland Plantagenet, signer of the Magna Carta in 1215.
Mildred Reed is his first great-grandmother on George Washington. And on Obama, Mildred Reed is the 10th great-grandmother.
It started as an assignment to research her own lineage, tracing it back to roots in France. But Bridge Ann wanted to branch out.
Well, I think we just all go back somewhere, or it's just a matter of proving it.
She started with George Washington, but unlike other professional genealogists that only looked at the male family lines, Bridge Ann was able to link the presidents together using both male and female ancestry. Before this, historians had only been able to link 22 family trees.
She kind of created a triumph of women's studies.
Whoa. You mean a 12-year-old was able to do something historians weren't able to do? Or historians were all being silenced or paid not to divulge this information, but that control wasn't over a 12-year-old girl. And you know this little fucking girl didn't do this bullshit.
Bridge Ann also figured out she's an 18th cousin of President Obama, something she hopes to be able to share with him in person.
I've written a letter to Obama, but I just gotten standard reply. I hope to meet the president and explain it to him.
In Paso Robles, Adam Rakusin, your Central Coast News.
Yeah, I should write a letter to Obama saying, hey, I think this is all bullshit. You guys plan to release that information. And with Obama being related to all these Caucasians, that calms the Caucasian race down because there's a black president. On top of that, it still proves they're all related. And that means that there's an ongoing what? Leadership of the same bloodline controlling the United States. And what does this fat fuck say again?
A nationwide cult of Satan worshippers. They said high-ranking government officials and businessmen were They said high-ranking government officials and businessmen were also members of the cult. Sentence was commuted to life by Governor Jeff.
Do you fucking see a pattern, baby? Do you see the message? Can I move on? Or do I have to keep drilling this into your skull? Next week, do I just have to change the order of the videos? But play the same ones? So every now and then we like to go over to Tyrone Street because Tyrone Street brings the shit. Ow! Shit being metaphor for the awesome stuff, baby. Now, he came out with a video called what? It's called hellspawn, baby. Let's learn about the hellspawn. Oh, we gotta mute the awesome music. Melanin, the major determinant of skin color. If we're gonna go into that, we're gonna go into SLC 2485 because there's no way I'm gonna do his lesson without SLC 248. Look, the fucking beast is all over it. 2485. Wikipedia is fine. We'll just go with that. Let's scroll down. Effect on skin color. SLC 2485 appears to have played a key role in the evolution of light skin of in humans of European ancestry. And that means no other fucking races, just them. The gene's function in pigmentation was discovered in zebrafish. Wait, you mean to tell me that you share a fucking gene with a fish? Now, yes, I've showed you this before. Is this a bad time to do fish faces? Is that considered immature right now? Or taunting? Listen. This isn't every European, but it's very funny. It's very funny indeed. Note the article states, we can go to science.com where they got the article from, because I've done numerous videos about this. This is nothing new here. You're new. Welcome to the shit. Yeah. I'm not the shit. The information's the shit. Because you've been looking at this information forever and not realizing what it's... Pigmentation. The gene's function in pigmentation was discovered in zebrafish as a result of the positional cloning of the gene responsible for the golden variety in the common and of this common pet store. Wait, they said something unique. Golden. It's in the zebrafish, and it's the unique part of their goldenness. Now, when you go into leprosy, it says the hair will become yellow. Well, tie it all together, brother. Tie it all together. Okay, let's go back to Hellspawn. Oh, wait. Germans have yellow hair, right? Oh, God, this is getting better by the moment. Melanin. I haven't had a cigarette yet. Like, let me get one of these things, huh? Alright, a little bit of elevator music. Sorry, you're in my den now. You're in my cave. And if you want to share my fire, you're going to listen to my goofiness and all kinds of views and shit. Because I'm sick of this shit. It's getting out of hand. The way we think. We've been taught to think like them, but we do not move well like them. This is why. Alright. Melanin, the major determinant of skin color, absorbs UV light and blocks free radical regeneration. This means when you absorb too much sun in your skin, starts to lump up. That means the more melanin you have means the more sunlight you can take. This is why they had you in the field, not to mention that they are leprous to a great degree and could not grow food. This is critically stated in the Bible. You're just not reading it right. And we'll prove it. Protecting the skin from sun damage and aging. This is what free radical regeneration is. Aging too fast because of the heat of the sunlight. Melanocytes, the cells that produce melanin, synthesize melanin in special organelles, whatever it is, melanoids. Okay, melanin-filled melasomes are transferred from one melocyte to 30 to 35 adjacent kerosene burn keratinocytes. So kerosene, kera means to burn, tin is metal, right? Don't you get it? It says he'll have skin as if it's burned in the oven, right? Tin is metal. Kera is burnt skin okites in the basal layer. It's amazing when you break down English, because English goes back to its roots, whatever it was stolen from. The number of melon. See, melon is a fruit that grows on the tree. Hence, because of your skin, you can grow fruit. Do I need to go back to the curse of Cain? Melanocytes also decrease with age. So, see, when you get older and your skin starts to wrinkle, when skin wrinkles, it gets darker. Here, I'll show you. I'll prove it right now. Here's my elbow, and you have your elbow, and you know how it gets. When you go like that, your elbow gets light. When you go like that, your elbow gets dark, right? Okay, your kneecap does the same thing, right? Okay, so now think of someone's face. As the face starts to wrinkle and the skin folds over itself, because the skin is pressed into those condensed places where it's designed to stretch out, because that happens, that facial tissue does get darker, but the rest of the person doesn't. The skin that doesn't double over anywhere does not experience that. It's more like the skin only looks darker because of the sagging of the skin. This is why it's saying here, the melanocytes decrease with age. So the older you get, the less you can block the sun, where the melanocyte is sent to 30 to 35 adjacent keratinocytes. So, I mean, this makes sense to me. I don't know. There's more than one type of melanin. Okay, and then they say, eumelanin, a dark brown, black pigment, and it continues. I think that's to a new page. Anyway, it says phenomelanin, a yellow reddish pigment. Eumelanin is deposited in ellipsoidal melasomes, which contain a fibrillar internal structure. So it's got a fibrillar is a fiber kind of internal structure. Synthesis of eumelanin increases after UV. So that increases after UV synthesis. So this is the transfer is the synthesis, right? Synthesis of eumelanin increases after UV exposure, i.e. tanning. Phenomelanin has a high sulfur content. What the fuck? Than eumelanin because of the sulfur containing amino acid crystalline. phenomelanin is synthesized in spherical mesosomes and associated. Do you understand what just fucking happened? They're talking about. See, the problem is in this constructed sentence, they're mixing the two, and there should be just separate categories for this. Now look, there's more than one type of melanin. Eumelanin, a dark brown black pigment, right? That's on one end. That's dark people. And phenomelanin, a yellow reddish pigment. Now, Caucasians have a yellow reddish tint in between what we call cardboard or bisque. And here's bisque. And that's the image of bisque. Excuse me, bisque. Right? And here's the color of cardboard. And you all know cardboard comes in different shades. That's why two Caucasians have different shades. Just like two black people have different shades. Or negroids, as we are called. And we say cardboard. Oh, gonna be like that. All right, we'll go. Oh, look. So there you go. There's even a color chart. Okay, so here's a visual comparison of yellow red. Now I'm gonna hit the back button. They had Fox News and Trump on screen. Right? See how Trump's tan and O'Reilly's not? Here you have dark tan cardboard. Here you have light pale cardboard. Here you have light pale cardboard. See? Same thing. Alright? Now let's go back to this and understand this real quick. Now, it said, Hellspawn, right? So, it turns out that phenomelanin, a yellow reddish pigment. Now let's skip down. Because all of a sudden it starts. Okay, it says phenomelanin is a yellow reddish pigment. Right? And then it starts telling you about eumelanin. And that's why it's written wrong. So eumelanin is deposited in ellipsoidal mesosomes, which contain a fibrillar or whatever internal structure. Synthesis of eumelanin increases after UV exposure, tanning, and that's why they told you about it. Okay, so the darkish brown pigment comes in during tanning. Okay, now I understand a little bit more. Okay, so this is dealing with Caucasians. Phenomelanin has a higher sulfur content than eumelanin. That's why it's creepy the way they are doing it. See, first they're telling you eumelanin is in phenomelanin, but then they're making a difference between the two. So your dark skin or dark people's skin has a lot of eumelanin. Okay? And Caucasian skin, which is phenomelanin, has less eumelanin, but it needs UV rays for the eumelanin in Caucasian skin to darken them because of the high sulfur content or higher sulfur content. That means the more eumelanin you already have, the less sulfur you have. Phenomelanin is synthesized in spherical mesosomes, and it is associated with microvesicles, whatever that means. Although it's not obvious to the naked eye, most melanin pigments of hair, skin, and eyes are combinations of eumelanin and phenomelanin. It is generally believed that genetics determine the constitutive levels of phenomelanin and eumelanin. Eumelanin is more important in determining the degree of pigmentation than phenomelanin. So, more eumelanin, the darker you are. Eumelanin is not phenomelanin. And not phenomelanin increases with visual pigmentation. Lighter melanocytes have higher phenomelanin content than dark melanocytes. That means dark people don't tan. In one study, white persons had the least amount of eumelanin, Asian Indians had more, and African Americans had the highest. Of note, adult melanocytes contain significantly more phenomelanin than cultured neonatal melanocytes. Okay, that can be answered in the next video. Because when you come to a certain age, the sun is then activated against your skin. And I'll prove that in a little comment. Melosomes also differ among different races. In black persons, they are mostly in the basal layer, but of those of white persons are mostly in the stratum corneum. Okay, now leprosy has to deal with skin. Now, this means that some humans had something change in their skin. Now, if the Bible tells you that the Caucasian's Jesus is a man with burnt skin, do you understand how fucking stupid this is? We live in a system of white supremacy where their fucking God is a black man, but they paint him white. Understand what's being said in Revelation. The Son of God is Negro, but the image of Revelation, their own fucking book, is a image of a white man with reddish hair. Come on. Somebody drank the Jim Jones punch and they got too much fucking sulfur in your skin to die. Okay, let's play a game. I mean, I'm sure if we watch the rest of the video, it's a very knowledgeable video. Okay, let's play a game. Okay, sulfur is associated with what? Okay. The devil! Oh my god. Oh, now do you understand what's going on? Alright, so, here's the thing. If black people are so stupid, so saith the white man, how come since the day I have been born, every wise black man or black person, even if they do a lot of dumb shit, they always say the white man is the devil? You need science to prove this. But these dumb black people were able to tell you're the children of the devil from the start. And as you intermixed with other Europeans, you infected them. It's an infection. You don't see it that way because you don't respect the Old Testament. It's a curse. Now, how do you tell if you're a European that's infected or a European that's the carrier? Here's how you tell. You go to the store and you buy some good old-fashioned dirt with no nutrients added. No, you don't even have to go to the store. You just go outside and get some dirt. And you take one seed, and I want you to run in place for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Then wipe the sweat off your forehead and rub it on the seed. And then plant the seed in the soil. And then you tell me, are you the infected? Did it kind of grow? Did it grow to a small size? Or are you the carrier of the plague? Did it not grow at all? A lot of people try to grow and they say, I don't have a green thumb. It's because you're the carrier. You produce. That means you're from the root. This study shows percentages of balance because of intermixing. I've already planted, my trees have already grown. And as a child, they had me plant. That's why they have children plant trees in school. You notice in school, some of the trees live and some of the trees die. Does that not back up my statement? Does that not back up the word? If all the kids were fruitful, then all the fucking trees they planted would have grew. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been tricked from our birth. And to believe in a false deity. And thinking we're a part of this society. We were being used to produce food for them. Now their sulfur content is just out of control. Because they've been overlapping their mating. They were supposed to mate with us to block us from going into heaven, assumably. It doesn't seem like that's working. It seems different when we mate with them. Because there's a scripture that says, if you conquer a people, and the daughter rejects her father, that you may take that nation as a wife, that woman, not that of that other nation as a wife. This is why the white man tells the white woman, if a black man penetrates you, you are ruined. The woman's got to weep for a month. I've got to get that scripture so I iron that out. And no, my marriage has nothing to do with that, so I'm not saying that to tell you I did something biblical or anything like that. No, not at all. I'm telling you this because there is a law that stipulates you can have a woman of another nation under these circumstances. No, I'm not telling you this so you seek other women. You people need to produce the vessels together. That doesn't mean go and just randomly fuck each other. That means grow together and have something to bind with. The truth. I tell you constantly, if you have a mate, whether it be boyfriend, your girlfriend, the girl you knocked up, the guy or the girl you pretend it's your wife, or your actual wife, you must watch these together. Because if your minds separate, your house is divided. We all know if your house is divided, it cannot stand. So look, I'm not sure how long I've had this camera on because I have the worst equipment in the world. I hope you learned a lot from the lesson so far. mentality is changing. You are the indigenous people of this land. You have been conquered, slaughtered, raped, and subjugated. You've been placed on the bottom of a caste system where you think there is no caste system, but yet you depict the caste system all the time. Light, dark, black, white. The chosen people, the Gentile, the heathen, and the children of the devil. All in one boat. We're in the daughter of Babylon. And it's gonna happen. And all you have to do is do what the Lord said and leave. Just leave like he goes. Everybody's heard that scripture. And what does a he-goat do? Well, if you look up a goat and then learn about the male leads the pack up the mountain. Where are the Israelites supposed to go in the last days? To Mount Zion. So, the Japanese video. Last time we left off, we learned about the Hata people. And I wondered if it was the Haya people and they were just changing the T to a Y to try to hide that. But there is a Haya people, but it has nothing to do with this. And then Mr. Wisdom came and knocking at my door. And he said, if you take the vowels and change them, well, I'm simplifying what he said. Mr. Wisdom went into this long speech, and somewhere around my head spinning, like the spirit in me and the one beside me, he said, hey, and then showed me the pattern. So, basically, Brother St. Mike informed me that with our own original language, our forefathers worded the names of the ancient people to depict who they are today. Brother St. Mike. Yeah. So, if we take the pattern, or I'll say stencil. Do you know what a stencil is? It's an outline. If you're in graffiti, you take a stencil and you spray paint. You take a star stencil, you spray paint, you get a star. If you sit there and you draw stuff, you know what a stencil is. If the rest of you people don't know what a stencil is from the description I just gave, whatever. Now, if you take the stencil that Horace Butler gave us, and he said, if you look for the ancient city, and you change the vowels, because vowels are modern. In the past they didn't have any vowels. If you change the vowels, you're more likely to discover the city. So we took that, and that's not the way he words it, but my kind of what he said. So if you take that stencil, see, I'm pissed at Horace Butler because the Lord gave him something and he tried to fucking drain money out of it. That's why he's sitting on one dead book. I had my hands on a manuscript that explained Moses crossed the land bridge of Alaska, the land bridge that the historians say ancient Indians crossed. He just called Moses an ancient Indian. So when I say Hebrews are Indians, when I say you are the indigenous Indians, it's all the same goddamn thing. You fucking people have been slapped around with this Afrocentric bullshit. And you're fucking delirious. Sit the fuck down and read Genesis. It's 12 tribes. What the fuck do you add tribes to in today? Indian tribes. How the fuck do you people not understand this? Indians wore fucking bonnets. Read the Bible. The first 5 books tell you about the war bonnet. The Levites will have the war bonnet. You motherfuckers, I want to smack the shit out of you. Why am I the one that's figuring out this shit that's sitting right in front that nobody wants to see for the too bitty party and disco? Fuck you. Tired. I had a life. Fucking wicked. But I had a life. And now you guys get to live your wicked life and then watch fucking videos in between which show you the truth, but you're not changing your life. If you were changing your life, you'd already showed up on my doorstep. Damn, man. What the fuck are you people doing? Oh, my kids gotta go to school. I gotta keep paying bills. Gather yourselves together somewhere so we can get the hell out of here. Gather yourselves together and I'll bring your leader to you. So, when we take the stencil that Butler presents, Brother St. Mike says, change the vowels. So instead of H-I-T-I-T, it'd be H-A-T-A, and then you drop the rest of the name, you got Hata. If you're trying to hide yourself because you just migrated from a different place, then you got the Hittites. Now, how close were the Hittites to the Israelites? The cave that Abraham bought was from his Hittite servant. The John Campbell says that the Hittite Indians of Canada had evidence that they go back to that Hittite that sold the cave. That's easy to find. Type in John Campbell, Canada, and it easily pops up. And it's only like 2 pages as he writes Harvard, he writes a newspaper saying, you know, Harvard is blackballing me. Basically, that's what he says in proper English terms. He says Harvard's blackballing me, and I'm proving that the Hittites are related to other Indians in Peru. That means those other Indians are Canaanites in Peru too, that they were related to. I think he said the Inca, I'm not sure. And then he says they know their history. They ain't been in fucking slave. They know their history all the way back to their ancestor. Just like all those presidents being related know their history all the way back to their ancestor. John Lackland Plantagenet, which goes back to Vlad the Impaler. They're the children of the devil. That's why they have high sulfur content. The other people are children of the fish. That's why they got what? Gold hair. Now, I'm willing to bet the redheads have the highest sulfur content. I'm willing to bet that the blonde hair have the highest fish content. Now, it says, do not hate your brother. Edom. Rome is Edom. Rome is Edom. Turkey is Edom. I've proven this with the Bible. Do I need to open up Genesis 36 and show you the actions of their brothers? Do I need to open up Obadiah when it says the mighty men of Esau? And who is the mighty men of Esau? The Ottoman. The Ottoman Empire, which is the Turkish Empire, which is Turkey. Zepho is mentioned in 36. Zepho is mentioned in the book of Jashir as what? Taking Kittim and force mating them with Itala. Who are they today? That's Italy. Where what? James Church sits. James Church sits in Italy and has been overthrown and run by the devil since the devil what? Crawled out of the ground. when the ground spit him out. It says, "O Lucifer, how thou fallen, tricked the earth." Then turn the damn page to like verse 12. It says he died. What? I don't even have my Bible here. And the earth spit him out. He was rejected. Then they buried your Christ in a cave. And the cave spit him out. Only an angel could have lifted that. Unless the earth just moved it itself. Get this thing out of me. I'm telling you, what they write of Christ and Christ, the actual thing, Isaiah says it's Lucifer, and it's Lucifer when he fell. Now Europeans run the world. You think Christ is what actually happened. Lucifer happened back then, and they rewrote history. They rewrote history. But they solidified their covenant when they draw that portrait of the Pope with that damn demon in a buddy-buddy conversation with that document. Right there in a picture. A picture says 1,000 words. There was this meeting one time with the Pope and Lucifer. Come on, you guys just... Alright, so we're going to get further into the Hata people and the Japanese people, because it talks about some interesting things. There are two different viewers sent information that state one of the people that claim to go into Japanese territory and are there in the Hata region are the Khazars. Now, the other, I do not remember, and I looked at this information 2 weeks ago, so I don't remember who the viewer is. No, I'm sorry. Now, if you read viewer comments and you see some of the links that some of the viewers have left, then you might find a few of these, but some of these links are in private messages, and that's how I get a lot of the video links for the videos that we do. You know, so another thing I want to tell you, I got the okay. This is not stamped. I got my passport 2 weeks after I sent it in. 2 weeks and a few days. My wife stated it was more than 2 weeks and less than 3 weeks. Alright, so, and then I just used my passport, my reinstated passport, and just went up to Canada for a trip. Brought the old wifey down. She oversaw a little bit of construction, and she went back to seal some stuff up in Canada. We'll be moving farther into our plans soon. So there's good news everywhere. Alright, close friends have had baby now. Congratulations to them. If you know, I probably shouldn't say anything like that. That's their personal life. We'll just leave it to that. You know, look, if you're pregnant, hopefully, marriage is something that you are already into. If you're pregnant and you're not married, hopefully, you'll move that direction. If you are pregnant, congratulations on participating in creation. I hope your birth goes well. Let's see what else we got on here real quick while the camera's still going. Alright, so now we just learned about this stuff about the sun, alright? About this, about sulfur in the cell. And this is how some of us tan. I tan. I would have a balanced sulfur content. I still have my Negro heritage. I haven't been plagued. I still retain my ethnicity. So we're going to look at this. Now, of course, because I still have my ethnicity, I still have my own curses. As well as you. So don't think I'm putting down people. I'm showing you the truth. If I state things like white bastard or white motherfucker, we can all go back to videos where I said black bastard and black motherfucker. So, your opinion that I'm racist or prejudiced is fine. But I'm anti-Masonic. Okay? And I'm not playing on the Freemason checkerboard. When I say black and white, it's because your mentality. When I say Negroid Indian, that's because, when I say Negroid, that's because of encyclopedia talk. When I say Indian, that's from historical heritage. When I say Israelite, that's from biblical heritage. These are all still the same things, right? So, when I say Caucasian, when I say white, they're two separate things. If you're not gonna raise your mentality, I'm gonna talk to you like shit. If your mentality's raised, then obviously when I browbeat the camera, because I don't see anybody, then obviously I'm not fucking talking to you. Except for that time.
I won't live up to any expectation.
Yeah, let's go back. Because there's some great little words on it. This is what you look like. This is what you look like in ultraviolet. This video is called How the Sun Sees You. So this is what you look like in ultraviolet. Now, ultraviolet light is UV light given out by the sun. Now, when you look at skin, that is what? In UV light with high sulfur content. It looks like that. Right there. Now, when you look at skin with high sulfur content, as UV light is hitting it with a UV spectrum visual, that means you see the same way the light's coming in, then we see this. Now, it's interesting, isn't it? If we put on UV glasses to visually see UV spectrum, this is how we would see Caucasians. Now, we just learned they have melanin, but a low amount, and this is what performs the tanning process. So, look, I think that's funny. This is how she looks with the sun. I mean, this is how she looks. She's very happy with her image. See the smile at the end? Hey, I can't help when the words click on the screen. Now watch the smile at the end. Very happy with herself. Right? Now this has happened. Now she started, what the fuck? Now she's unhappy with her image. Now it's still her. Now why does she feel that way? Could it have anything to do with white supremacy? Now I want you to think about it from my perspective. This is how she looks as a Caucasian. She's happy. Now she's about to see herself as a black person. Did you see what I saw? Or am I just putting too much into it? Why would she make a face of disgust when she's staring at her own face? Does she feel that she has shit in her face? Does white supremacy make rich, melanated people feel as if their skin is shit when it's truly not? When we understand the science behind this video, we understand the beauty of the gift that has been given. When we understand the principle of leprosy, or the principle that I am teaching you is leprosy, you have more melon. Trees grow melons. Fruit is melon. Melanin. Now, let's watch this with the mentality of white supremacy. Beautiful, yes. Wait, what? Ew. It's me? Ew, ha 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 ha. No. Let's watch it again without my comments. Do you still hear me in your head? That's very interesting, isn't it? An ultraviolet camera can show not yet visible changes to your skin. So now let's think about everybody's reaction. And let's think about white supremacy. In fact, since we started with the KKK, as we view these, we should always think about it. White supremacy. In fact, since we've been enslaved to a system that promotes white supremacy, we should constantly be looking at these videos with white supremacy in mind. We should always remember, not everybody that is Caucasian to us is classified as Caucasian to Caucasians. We must remember, by visually looking at people, we cannot tell their sulfur content or their agenda. By visually looking at most people, we can't even tell their group affiliation, if they're affiliated with groups. So I'm not teaching you this for vengeance. You are the bottom of the caste system that is eradicated at the will of the Caucasian, in which other Caucasians will go to court and defend him or her, set up by Caucasian law of the sea, admiralty law, which has nothing to do with the land that we're on. Hence, as I stated earlier, these people are, as Palestinians call the Israeli occupiers, these people are occupying your country or our country. Hence, there are too many books that say you and me are the indigenous, with descriptive passages of both tones of our color and other colors, as well as other types of people. This is for educational purposes, so you can more understand your oppressor versus what is written in Deuteronomy 32. You will have a nation of a people that are not over you. It means you have a mixed bastard nation ruling you. that calls themselves Europeans. An ultraviolet camera can show not yet visible changes. So let us look at this as we see Europeans turn non-European, as we see Europeans take on their indigenous original looks. This is what happened before you mated with Cain. Mostly freckles. Wait, did you see that? You had somebody that didn't have any freckles at all. Oh, just a few, but her whole tint changed to one tone, like somebody threw paint on her. Now, those are different. Those are splotchy people. Now, you can see clearly she doesn't have a freckle on her face naturally over here. But if you look really close, these are the what? The keratinocytes spread out, right? Absorbing the sun from the areas that need it most. The nose, the cheeks, and the eyes. Now, look at her face. Where's her face red at? Her face is red, hot, everywhere the absorption sensors are. Like your hands absorb hot water. Your arms can't absorb. Like you turn your hot water on your sink. You can put your hand underneath it and it doesn't burn as much. You can tolerate it. Your hand is a sensor, just like those freckles. You can't see the sensor on top of your hands, just like you can't see those freckles on top of her face. You put your arm under that hot water and it scalds your arm. Same thing with your foot. You put the pad of your foot, it's got enough fat there. These are the fattiest places on her face. Within the fat is the keratinocyte receptors. And I didn't read this shit, it's just obvious. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty fucking sure I'm right because it's right there. When we go back to that thing, it says they're spread out to what? Absorb UV light. And so that's how she looks. Look, she still gets a whole new splotch of paint, but she's still got freckles in there, a few of them. So you can see, man, I mean, look, those look like little plus signs, right? I mean, plus, 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 right? What is the Roman cross? It's the plus sign. What is that X there? I'm not fucking with you. Look at that. Open it up on your own screen if you think my camera's that shitty. It's a bunch of little fucking X's. I'm not saying everybody's got a bunch of little X's. He's got circles. They got circles. When you go to this one, she's got X's. I ain't playing. You can see it for yourself. Open it on your own screen. We're at 51 seconds. Now, why she got a bunch of little Roman moles underneath her skin to absorb? So you see how that person looks? That's how she looks pale. That's how she looks now. Like an Indian. Just not a Negro Indian. These people lost their pigment. I'm not mocking them. I'm not making fun of them. I don't think they know. And to a degree, I don't think some of them want to know. They've been taught to love their whiteness, their paleness, their sulfur. When we find a Levite. We cannot make a Levite. When we find a Levite, if the Levite has cleansed his vessel, he can instruct them how to cleanse their vessel, as it is written. So that's how dark she gets. See how these people look? She looks like, you can tell she's Caucasian, but she looks now Indonesian-ish. So, understand, everybody's born. That's why I said children have smaller mouths, because it doesn't matter in children, because God protects them to a certain age. Everyone's born with good skin, pretty much. UV, remember, this is UV based. This ain't talking about fucking white people's skin or black people's skin. It's talking about UV skin. Everyone's born with good skin, pretty much. Now, that's why I told you some people are carriers. Alright? Pretty much. That means not everyone is. That means some are different. That means there's some children God is not protecting until their adolescence goes away. When your puberty starts, basically your UV protection goes away. Except for some children. Look how dark that kid is now. Come on. Come on. At different ages, different speeds, right? That's what it said, right? It ages at different speeds based on your what? The balance of phenomelanin versus eumelanin. Right? And then it eventually stripped away. Now look how splotchy her skin has become. Now, so she's got, what, can she tan more? So that means she's got a higher content of sulfur. The more freckles, the more sulfur. Now, what did it say? Healthy skin is easy to spot. Now, did you just understand the video just explained the people that you just saw with freckles are unhealthy? Now, I bet nobody has been like, hey, you call these people unhealthy, but like, what's wrong with them? They're just white. Their skin is fair. Fair means good. People say no fair. That means not good. He just states, look, whoever the author is, he, she, whatever, a fucking magazine, a science, blah, 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 the guy who owns the UV camera, whatever. They state, healthy skin is easy to spot. How do you spot healthy skin? No freckles, no freckles, no freckles, no freckles. Now, wait. That person's black. That person's some kind of not Caucasian. I don't know, but I don't know. That could go anyway, but I don't know. Just we'll stick with no freckles on that one. He doesn't look Caucasian either. So, hey, let's back it up. Let's back it up. Let me solidify my point. Remember, white supremacy? Now let's watch all the way up until we've seen already. Cursed. Unhealthy skin. This is what the UV camera, based on the author, the documentary author, this is what the document. Cursed. Unhealthy. She's pale. cursed, unhealthy, cursed, unhealthy. Pale people, cursed, unhealthy, cursed, This is what it means when he says, now we'll see healthy skin. That means we've been viewing unhealthy skin. What does that mean? That means the more you see freckles with the UV camera, the less vegetation that can grow. That means the more sulfur in their what? Skin, in their sweat, in their oil, their natural oil. Mostly freckles. So they say this is unhealthy. Oh, do you see that? In ultraviolet light, he's got some kind of white dot there. What's that about? And why does that look like a horn right there? Like there, and there on his forehead. Why is his earlobes changed like that? Like, I don't understand that. And I'm just immature. I mean, like, I just noticed this right now. You know, I mean, it could be like, you know, shiny parts, you know, because of oil and sweat, but no, that's white, and that's, you know, so it's not receiving any UV light. You know, it could be a black mole. I have no idea because we haven't seen them in regular light. All right, and they said and other things, and I can't really tell that lady looks really weird at that angle. Kind of looks like a digital person. I mean, I know it's a real person. Kind of looks digital right there. So, yeah, in her face, you can see the white spots, too. Instead of darkness, she's got white spotches there coming up. Now, this is UV light. Like, I mean, you can see a fucking line right there. Like, I mean, that's really weird. I mean, she looks like she's imprinted with something. Like a dot there and a line, and that looks like digital stuff. Like, and, you know, maybe it's just me, but, you know, I still see it. Open it up on your screen, and what does he mean by you see other stuff on people? Look, motherfucker said you see other stuff on people. Oh, look at this. Freckles, freckles, freckles. Also other stuff. What does that mean? And then you don't see no freckles on people. You see the white. See the alien looking bitch. You see the speckles and shit. I don't know what other stuff was on that lady's face either. Healthy skin is easy to spot. Now, everything that we just previously saw was unhealthy skin. It looked like they had so here you have somebody that's Negro and they have the UV freckles. Alright? And on top of the UV freckles, you can see they have dots on top of their skin. That would be their normal freckles as well. Alright? Now, healthy skin's easy to spot. No freckles, no blemishes, nothing like that. She's very beautiful, isn't she? See, glass blocks UV light, right? So glasses look black. Sunscreen also blocks UV light. So this is what sunscreen looks like. Now watch when she opens her eyes. Let's look at the reaction. So what they are doing with sunscreen is blocking their sulfur, the pheomelanin, from converting the melanchites to the keratinocytes, which the sun would be dispersed throughout the skin and radiate. It's blocking that from happening. Now what sun tanning ocean does would use chemistry to open up no. It would accelerate UV light into the keratinocytes. So the tanning is accelerated. So the darkening of the skin is accelerated. Now, sunblock would block the aging of the skin just like your black skin does. So this is priceless. Looking at her, look at herself, fully covered. And it kind of makes me think, I've done this video before. It kind of makes me think she comes to the realization of what we're talking about here. See how excited everybody else is? She finds a dilemma, the same as the first girl. Watch, look, the child's happy. See? See his wool hair? He puts it on. He's got brown skin, and this is why I hate calling brown people black. It's fucking stupid. Plus, the people of Canada that have melanated skin, they are fucking way darker than you. Talk about like really close to black. That's what's up. That shit happened. Blew my mind, man. Blew my mind. So you see the difference right there. Black and brown in UV light. Right? So, look. You can see the little tone of her. She's yellow. Look at that. My bad. I just saw the wool hair. So that's yellow skin in UV light. This is what I look like in UV light. Oh, that's awesome. I'm gold, nigga. So this is, everybody else is happy. She comes to this conclusion. We can't read her mind. We can always, pause it and it becomes a picture. And of course, the picture says 1,000 words. So, I know my people, just as well as you know me sitting here jibber-jabbing. You've already thought of 1,000 words that fit. So it's unfitting for me to sit here and tell you 1,000 words about what I think she's saying. So feel free to comment below and tell me your opinion of what this woman is thinking on the video, How the Sun Sees You at 2:23. If you're Caucasian, or if you're white and you fall, under the category of, you truly believe I'm not trying to be racist, and you want to participate, just participate. Look, this is about what's written in the Bible. This is what started all of this. This isn't hate. This is realization of the truth. To some degree, I can imagine, by some of the looks of some people who've been taught racism strongly, who's been taught prejudice, But you've got to understand, it's meaningless to me. I won't even see half these people in my life, you know. Alright. You know, like I've always told you, read your Bible. Quiz each other. Something, you know. You're going to be judged on Judgment Day for your actions, words you've said, your claims of participation, and your lack of truth. Truth goes back to the ancient. And when you go back to what they call the ancient, you're walking around daily with the Bible. The Bible is what they're calling the ancient. You're just not perceiving it that way. The Bible's real. I can always prove that. You pick the topic, I'll prove it. I'll show you 2 topics. We'll start with Genesis. The easiest thing to prove in Genesis, that Genesis existed, was the slaves built the city of Ramesses, and that there was a war against the Hittites in the city of Ramesses. And the slaves had to fight. And the slaves defeated the Hittites. Now, in the Bible, that's the battle of the city of Ramesses. In the real world, that's called the Battle of the City of Kadesh. You understand that? Why in the real world would they change the name of the battle? Why in the real world would they have changed the city of Ramesses to the city of Kadesh? The people at the top of everything control you, and they control me. Any day they want, this shit's done. Any day they want, they call a couple people, I lose my job. I get blackballed. They put a hit out on any of us. It's the thing they do. The thing they do. So, when you say the Bible's not real, or the Bible's corrupt, I'm 40 years old, I'm high every day, and I can prove all this shit. You're sober, and you're sitting there telling me the Bible's corrupt, and you're not looking to prove shit. I can't tell you how many of you have that attitude. I've shown you countless lesson, book open, and most of you type back your opinion. Like, that's gonna sway me. I read I read a guy who went to school for 15 fucking years, trekked in the fucking desert, almost died 3 times. And I don't even know you, and you expect me to believe a couple fucking sentences you say with no evidence? Your mentality is corrupt. If I go to these long lengths to prove something to you, and you just say these 2 sentences back, and you believe that you're just correct because somebody else fucking told you? If we were sitting across from each other in a library with 2 security guards drinking coffee, I would smack the fuck out of you over and over again. I'm reading to you from a book and you're scratching your ass and telling me in a way that you're dominant, like you just butt-fucked me or something. The fuck is wrong with you people? And you're like, oh, the cussing. Right? You become a bunch of little spoiled bitches. No wonder the white people aren't afraid of you. They're afraid of the angry ones. Not you happy-go-lucky motherfuckers. Fucking working these little shit jobs to what? Go spend your money at the fucking club and at the mall? All of you sit there and say, black business. None of you got together to even open a chicken joint. We don't need to leave Babylon. What businesses have you started to feed yourselves? Oh, but we're cursed. How do you know? You couldn't even tell me what scripture it says you're cursed. That has to do with business. Lazy, spoiled, crybabies. And I hand you this. It says fucking, what do these kids say? These smart kids come and say this is a college education. I wish I was born into a classroom like this. You're handed this information. And all you do is fucking complain. Complain. Every day. Well, I saw this, or I saw that. Did you link it to some other stuff that wasn't by the same author or by a group that the author's affiliated with? I've shown you countless authors that show you Christ is fake when you go into history. None of you go into history. You'll watch the History Channel tell you fucking Christ is real. The History Channel tells you Christ is real, but fucking historians tell you we can't find his existence. The Bible in the test. You have the testimony. The Old Testament is the testimony, the true word of the one who controls heaven. Then you have the test. He gave you the law, and then he gave you a fucking worm to go chase, and you chase Christ. You say, I'm not beaten anymore. I don't have to worship Christ. I choose to. And the Creator is going to choose to pluck you right off that fucking tree. Pardon me. Excuse me. You better change. Malcolm X said, get weapons to defend yourself. They didn't want King to say segregation. So you take the most brilliant parts of both of them. You separate and arm yourself. You guys fucking stay here and be black-faced clowns. Dance for these fucking people. Half of them are in love with you. They'll do anything for you. They don't even know why. It's just in their blood. The other half want you dead. And God already wrote the code that you're going to have to go preach to all of them. And you don't want to get your ass in gear because it's too fucking comfortable. Then fuck you. Just in case you start crying again. But they got sulfur in their blood and they're the devil's children. It says in the Old Testament to teach the wicked to turn from his ways and repent. That's your fucking task. He said he'll forgive your black sins because you were taught wrong, but he will not forgive the oppressor unless they're taught right. Now again, a large percentage will be obliterated from the wars and the plagues that they unleash on themselves. Because different European factions are now butting heads until they start wiping each other out, because that's Lucifer's plan, until there's just enough to put on a leash and keep his minions fed. Isn't that what the monuments in Florida say? Keep the population under a certain amount. Haven't you ever played like those games where you need X amount of soldiers to take down this beast or this beast? If the world's population is under 500,000, we won't be able to take down Leviathan when it's unleashed. Kind of need everybody to move as one on this one, you know. And I know you think I'm just not. Then read the Bible and read the holy books, because then you'll know those beasts will be released. And then once we kill the one, we feed off of it. That's what it says. So, again, I would suggest starting with Genesis. And the moment that Enoch's whisked away, you know, that's pretty much when you go to the book of Enoch. And then when the book of Enoch ends, that's pretty much when you go right back to the Bible. You know, because Enoch sees the future, the time you live in, that'll keep you interested. But other than that, you know, what did I end on last time? F you? Alright, well, I'll change that. Alright. Hey, pray for brights. And then, when they're activated, don't be lazy. Use them, because you're needed, and you're not answering that necessity. You're not answering that necessity. You need to be out preaching and teaching right now. That is what James was telling you. These are the last days. That the Israelites be retrained by one and go out and reteach the rest. You know the information, you know where to find the information. It's you that brings down the internet. You is who does it. Oh shit, I wasn't supposed to say that. My voice got all funny. Alright, bye.